Good afternoon, and welcome to Lancaster Connects, live from the Gardner's Mattress and More showroom, right across the street from Park City Mall, kind of behind Park City Mall on Plaza Boulevard. Here we are. So thanks for joining. Got a great show today. Got a couple of great guests representing a really awesome nonprofit. We'll get to who they are in just a little bit. So obviously Lancaster Connects. This is the show about small business and small charity success right here in Lancaster, showcasing the battle on Main Street, big versus small, David versus Goliath. We like to highlight small businesses and small nonprofits making an impact in the Lancaster community and ultimately showcasing the best of what Lancaster has to offer and why Lancaster is so great. Comment during the show. I'd love to see your comments. I'm going to turn the comment thing on so I can see who's commenting. Last episode we had Schreiber Pediatric on, and we had a ton of comments. That was fantastic. So hit the love button, like the video, and let me know that you're listening, watching, and whatnot. Doing so, if you comment during the show, you will win a prize, or we spin the prize later, and we will pick one winner to win a prize. We've got some really cool swag, some Less Snore, More Cuddle, Hydro Flasks and coffee tumbler. Really awesome way to keep your beverage cold or hot. These things are 20 and 30 bucks. So awesome gift. All you got to do is comment. We'll pull one winner to win one of those. If you don't want one of our swag items, we will give the winner a restaurant gift card, $25 to a great Lancaster County restaurant. So commenting earns you prizes. Of course, we are on YouTube. This is streaming live on YouTube and Facebook on both the Gardner's Mattress and More, again, the showroom we are broadcasting from, and the Lancaster Connects pages. All previous episodes, as the screen is telling you now, are on lancasterconnects.com/episodes. We are now in our 60th episode. So all 59 previous episodes are on the lancasterconnects.com page. If you are a nonprofit or a small business who is making an impact in the Lancaster community and you'd like to be part of the show, you'd like to tell your story, like to be highlighted on Lancaster Connects, we'd love to help you share that story. On that website, lancasterconnects.com/guest. Chris has got it right up there on the screen, /guest. Tell us who you are, what your business or organization is, and why you'd like to be highlighted on the show. It's a simple form. We'll take that from there. We'll connect with you, find a date that we can have you on. We broadcast live at 2 o'clock every Monday afternoon. We've got one more episode before the Labor Day holiday, and then after that we are booking into the fall. I believe we've got most of September booked, but we are looking for guests for October, November, and December. So again, lancasterconnects.com/guest. Let us know that you'd like to talk to us and be highlighted on the show, and we'll be happy to have you on. I mentioned Labor Day at Gardner's Mattress and More. Our Labor Day promotions have started or are starting this week. Some of our vendors, Therapeutic and some of the others around the showroom, have vendor-specific promotions that we participate in. And then, of course, we have our double deals, which are specific deals based on how you need to purchase the mattress. Maybe a free box spring, size upgrade, maybe queen for a price of a full, king for a price of a queen. If you don't need a box spring, there's adjustable base pricing discounts, financing, 6 and 12-month financing, and even long-term financing available. We'd love to help you sleep better, and these double deals are a great way to get into the mattress that's going to help you wake up happy every morning at some sort of discount. So the double deals kind of levels the playing field. And of course, if you're fans of Gardner's, been a watcher of Lancaster Connects, you know that we are fully invested in helping you sleep better, and we are not the big mark it up and call it half price Labor Day sale. That's not who we are. So the last thing I'll say about Labor Day, promotions start right now, run through Labor Day. So if better night's sleep is in your future, now's a great time to do it. All right. You know what? I almost forgot to mention, I'm flying solo again today. Jeff, he was out of town last week attending a family matter, and he got back, and over the weekend he's not feeling well. So we wish Jeff the best. Hopefully he makes a recovery here pretty quickly, and he's back to normal Jeff routine here. But so he'll be joining us next week, and you're flying solo with me today. So without further ado, let's bring our guests on. Today we are highlighting the Greystone Manor Therapeutic Riding Center. We've got Jennifer Rummel, who is the executive director, in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And at the bottom of the screen, we've got Stephanie Fleck, who's the program director. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being on. So we'll get into who Greystone Manor is and what you do there. But first, Jennifer, are you a Lancaster native?
I am.
Shows about Lancaster. Okay. Where did you grow up in the county?
I went to Manheim Township, graduated in 2003, and now I live in East Pete with my husband and my 2 kids.
Oh, very good. Very good. And they go to the Hempfield School District?
Yeah.
Yep. So you defected one school district over, right?
Yeah, I know. There's an ongoing rivalry. But my daughter will be starting 3rd grade tomorrow, and my son's in pre-K at a preschool.
That's awesome. That's a great ages. No, both school districts are fantastic. I know they're kind of tops in the community there. I've got a 3rd grader too, or going into 3rd grade, and an 8th grader, and I am excited for school to start tomorrow. I love the regular routine. Jennifer, are you a Lancaster native? Or I'm sorry, not Jennifer. I'm sorry, Steph. I looked at the Stephanie. Are you a Lancaster native?
I am actually not a Lancaster native.
Okay,
Just across the border. I grew up in Lebanon.
Okay,
I married a Lancaster native. He was a Manheim Central grad.
Okay, very good.
So we actually moved and we lived in Manheim for about 9 years. Okay. And now I'm back in Lebanon again, but thoroughly enjoy being here in Lancaster and working in Lancaster every day.
That's awesome. I've gotten to know Lebanon County a little bit better. I really didn't have any reference with or personal reference with Lebanon County, but my parents have a cabin-y sort of place about 2 hours north, and we always go 501 all the way up through like Lebanon County there. So I've gotten like a little peek at the Lebanon countryside going up that way. It's really beautiful up there.
Yes. Not very different than Lancaster.
Yeah, that's very true. Lots of farmland, rolling hills, that sort of thing. Well, great. Thanks for sharing. So you both represent the Greystone Manor Therapeutic Riding Center, Greystone Manor TRC.org. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to check it out, we'll be showing some of the website in a little bit here. So either one of you could take this question. What is the mission of the Greystone Manor Therapeutic Riding Center?
Our mission is to enhance the lives of people with special needs, and not just special needs, but additional diagnoses through equine-assisted activities. Equine being that we work with horses to deliver our services.
So when you say someone with special needs, what kind of special needs are we talking about here? What are some of those needs?
Steph, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So we serve a wide range of individuals. So anyone from ages 4 and up. So our youngest participant is 4 years old, and then our oldest participant right now is in their 80s, which is really fun. So any sort of diagnosis ranging like physical, intellectual, behavioral, emotional needs, anything like that. Is someone that we would welcome into our services, and we would be happy to have them participate with us. So it really, it ranges the spectrum. So we'll have participants who come and they'll be in a wheelchair, and then other times we'll have participants come and, to the average person, they'd never know that there's a diagnosis. But we're happy to have everybody, and it's just a great community that we have here at the barn.
That's awesome. How did Greystone Manor get started? How long has it been around, and kind of what's the story there?
Well, we just celebrated our 40th anniversary last
Wow.
year.
Okay,
The
wow.
organization started very small. It was just 2 equestrians named Mary Ann Farrow and Carol Hinkle. And they had a barn up in, I think it was Mountville. And they worked with the 4-H Club and Schreiber Pediatrics to do activities with children and horses. And they were kind of ahead of their time because they started to recognize the children had more positive interactions with each other, and had more positive behavior themselves when horses were involved.
Interesting.
And then about 10 years later, it became like a national kind of principle, or a national kind of activity that people do. And we actually associate with Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. That is an international organization that
Wow.
kind of holds us to certain standards and practices in the way that we engage with our horses and with our volunteers and with our participants.
That's awesome. So it's interesting you mentioned Schreiber. I had Schreiber on the show last week. So, 30, 40 years ago, you were working with the nonprofit I talked to last week. That's awesome. I mean, they've been around for a long, long time as well. How many people does Greystone Manor serve each year?
Yeah, so it varies from year to year, but roughly around 200 individuals. And so that includes people who come to participate in our lesson program, as well as the various groups that we'll have coming through the doors for different activities and things like that as well.
Yep. So is it a weekly sort of program? Do people come weekly or monthly? Is it camp-based? How does that look like?
Yeah, so Ben broke up a little bit, but I think what he was asking was just how the program works. And so the lesson program is set up to be recurring on a weekly basis. So our students will come, generally speaking, once a week for approximately 45 minutes at a time. And they'll work either one-on-one with their instructor, or we have some students who work in a group lesson as well. So especially if their individual goals are centered around things involving like social interaction and things like that, a group setting can be really beneficial for them. And then other times we'll offer some sort of group programming. And so what we like to do is we'll just look at the needs of our community, and we might develop a group and promote that within the community. So a great example of that is a Silver Saddles program that we launched for the first time 2 years ago now, maybe. Jenn, when was that?
I think
2021.
Like the very early days of 2021.
Yeah, time's flying by. But the Silver Saddles program is for individuals 55 and older. They might not have a specific diagnosis, but we know that as
if we can hear me, I'm having maybe potential connection issues on my end.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
All right, I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think you're back.
Okay, yeah, I went away for 30 seconds, so sorry, keep going.
It's all good. But yeah, so that program for anyone ages 55 and older, it's a great way for them to build community connections and more social networks. And it also allows them to experience working with the horses and developing a relationship and the bond that we have between horses and humans. And it can be really enlightening and just eye-opening for them. And so that is a specific program that has just exploded over the last year or so. We've had so much interest from the community in that. So we just keep expanding that program to continue to meet the needs that we're seeing in the community around us. And so we'll do different things like that depending on where we see the need. And then other times we'll have other community organizations reach out to us and say, here's something that their organization is doing or their group, and can we collaborate? And so we love to do things like that as well.
That's great. So what are some of the other organizations that you work with? You mentioned Schreiber earlier. What are some of the other organizations that collaborate with you?
So a great example of that would be like Aaron's Acres. Aaron's Acres is a camp for kids with special needs, and they come every summer. Their campers will come to Greystone once a week, and they get to experience horses and all sorts of equine related activities and games, and we just have a great time. And that's been a long-standing relationship with them.
They're fantastic. We had them on the show maybe 5-6 months ago, and then last month we got to go visit their where they are right now, which is in New Holland, and got to see see what they do for about an hour during one of their summer camps. So it was really eye-opening, and of course really neat to see how they work with the people, their campers, and obviously the situations that they are involved in. But it's unbelievable what they do with those children. It really is.
I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is it about therapy? And you've had such success for the last 40 years. But what is the benefit? What makes it so good to use with children and beyond?
Yeah, we hear you. Again. But I think we got the gist of your question.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
The benefits of what we do?
Yeah.
Sure. So I think I mentioned earlier, there are some broad, sweeping categories that sometimes we'll use to help talk about the benefits of equine-assisted activities. And so we'll have people come to us with physical needs or intellectual needs or emotional behavioral needs. And so what we do is we look at the individual first and foremost, and we say, what are they hoping to get out of this experience? And we'll develop individual goals and objectives for that particular lesson or that group. And then what I like to say is I'm really just the facilitator. So the horses are, what really brings us to life. And we know now more than ever the incredible bond that horses and humans can have. And so I think it's one of those things that equestrians have always known, and that's why we have the love and the passion that we have for horses. But now we're developing more and more ways to share that with others. And so I'll give you an example. So someone with a physical diagnosis, when they ride, it's a very therapeutic movement for them. So the horse's movement is 3-dimensional, and that's not something that is easily or can be replicated in a PT gym. And so it's a really unique therapeutic intervention that the horses can provide that you're not going to find anywhere else. And it has the ability to help them reach their physical goals. And then, for someone with an intellectual need, we know now more than ever that movement and there are different motor pathways between the brain and the body. And so sometimes when you can provide an intervention like this, you're helping the body and the brain to work together and to develop new pathways so that they can reach some of their goals or, improve in some of those areas of life that maybe would typically be a struggle for them. And then, of course, for emotional needs, I think the pandemic just brought to life more than ever the need for connection, and just some of these struggles that I think we all face from time to time, but some people more than others. And so there's an incredible bond that horses can have with humans. And, someone can come to the barn and they know that they're not going to be judged, and they know that the horse is going to meet them every single day exactly where they're at. And that's an incredible experience for someone who might go through life and really struggle with relationships with other people.
Yeah.
So this is an open door for them to be able to experience something and connect with the horse and then learn to take those skills and apply them in their everyday life.
That's great. Go ahead.
Participants have so much fun. Sometimes they don't realize exactly how hard it is that they're working and exactly how far they're coming in their progress.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. And I'll apologize. I cut out there and came back in. Hopefully I'm still not frozen. I don't know. Don't know if internet issues or what's going on, but thank you for both for sharing about the benefits of equine therapy. Stephanie, you mentioned the pandemic. How did things change in 2020? Were you able to offer your programs, or did they have to stop or be virtual in a way? Like what did you do there?
A combination of all of the above.
Yeah.
And Jenn, you can chime in on this too. So I actually joined Greystone after the worst of the pandemic was already over by the time I joined, but they did shut down for a period of time. Yep. And then they kind of reopened in phases or just gradually. So as we knew it was safe to do so, then we started bringing some students back in, but we would limit the number of people here at a given point in time. And that year, for example, for Aaron's Acres, we worked with Aaron's Acres virtually. We tried to provide a little bit of experience through video and that sort of thing. But we're back to full programming.
Yeah, we are. We closed briefly. I'm trying to think. I think it was the end of March. And then we came back maybe the end of June.
Okay.
When we did try to do some virtual programming. And it was, I think sometimes we forget how important this program is to people until we ran into a situation where they couldn't have it. So we were able to send letters from the horses to each participant because they really do form a bond with their horses. Sometimes the horses see them and they have a response, like a physical response to seeing somebody who's one of their participants. We had to cut back to the number of volunteers that we had. So we had a restricted number, and I'm thinking it was probably between 16 and 20. And I like to tell this story because I sometimes, our volunteers, I think, need us as much as we need them. And they truly do drive our program. When we were in the red phase, under Governor Wolf's orders, we could only allow a handful of volunteers. And we have over 150 people who volunteer with us every year. So we had to cut it back to about 20. And our volunteer coordinator, Bobby, reached out to those people who were selected based on skill level and said, "You're welcome to sign up for volunteer shifts. Everyone else, we can't wait to have you back, but not right now." And then she opened the volunteer portal and everyone signed up. So she said, "I think you must not have understood me. We can't wait to have you back. Just these 20 people for right now." So she turned it off and then turned it on again, and everybody signed up. So I mean, our volunteers are so incredibly dedicated, and I think they love our participants and our horses as much as we do. I had no idea how hard it was for them until we started seeing things like that happen. But we are so thankful to be back in full force.
As we all are. Let's hope that nothing like that happens again. Since we're talking about volunteers, volunteers are the lifeblood of any nonprofit or charitable organization. Talk a little bit about the volunteers. What are some of the responsibilities that your volunteers have, and how do they interact with the people you provide services to? Tell us about your volunteers.
Well, the great thing about our program is that we have volunteers come in from the age of 14 and up. You don't have to have any experience with horses. You don't have to have any experience with barn duty or people with disabilities. We are welcoming to people of all skill levels and ability levels. So we have about 150 volunteers. Every year they donate over 10,000 hours. So last year, our volunteers logged more hours than our staff, which 4 of us are salary. So it's not an exact science, but we wouldn't survive without our incredible volunteers and their skill. The skill levels go from people who are learning to sweep the barn aisles to we have some volunteers who are so in tune with the horses that we just a couple weeks ago, earlier this year, we had one of our volunteers noticed a horse was having a medical emergency. and alerted us,
Wow.
and she was right, and she saved his life. So
That's amazing.
the volunteer, I mean, it's really all over the place. So, but the majority of where people fall into is lesson prep. So preparing the horses for lessons,
Okay.
and then participating in the lessons themselves. So depending on the skill level of the participants, some people need more people engaged, and some people need fewer. And then another large thing that we have is barn duty. So whether or not we're operating, and this was true during the pandemic too, we have horses that require, specialized, wonderful care. And I wouldn't be with this organization if we didn't treat our horses very well. Like, I got my start in fundraising at animal shelters. So, these horses are loved and treated very well. And we have volunteers who are really skilled in making sure that they get everything they need.
That's awesome. So we had your volunteer page on the website. So if anybody listening wanted to be a volunteer, what's that process look like? It looked like there was a form to fill out online. Where does that go from there?
So the best way to start is to go to our website. There's a button to click, and that will prompt you to fill out a couple of things. Mostly it's just us getting some information, and then making sure that you have your clearances in order. Once that happens, then you'll attend an orientation, and you'll be able to start signing up for some different training or different jobs that you would like to do. If you're not tech savvy or don't have access to a computer, please feel free to call. So the phone number there for our volunteer coordinators being highlighted. But yeah, there's lots of opportunities. And as Jenn mentioned, you don't need to have horse experience. In fact, we have a lot of volunteers come to us because they said that maybe somewhere in their past they had a not so great experience with a horse, and they're at a point in their life where they want to overcome that. And so this is a great way to do that as well. Or maybe they did have horses in their life and got out of it, and now they want to rekindle that experience. So
I can think of one person that I work with who's became a donor, but got into it to get it out of her system. I think it went the opposite way.
It doesn't go out.
She's so incredibly dedicated to her group of volunteers that, she designs like logo wear and kind of stuff for them to share at the same time. So
that's awesome. That's great. So we've got a handful of comments coming in. Jenn, you've got a fan.
Takesha. I know.
Takesha is also she's a super fan of the Lancaster Connect show. Faithful watcher and commenter. So Takesha, thanks for sharing. And then Jessica asked, how many horses do you have? So that question, and I think, Chris, maybe you can bring up in the background on the web or on the screen, I think there's a page on the website dedicated to the horses who you currently have and some of the former horses. So you can talk a little bit about the horses.
Yeah.
It's funny. So all of our staff members have our favorite horses.
Okay. Well,
they really
we need to know who your favorite horses are.
It's their personalities. For me, I like the one that's kind of ornery. I like a horse named Nando. He's a halflinger, and I like him because, I don't know, he makes me laugh. He has some unpredictable tendencies, but
okay. Now, what would be I'm not personally familiar with horses. What would be an unpredictable?
He's a chewer. So I'm not as even on the same level of horsemanship as Steph is, but he has a tendency to eat anything that is near him. So we had I
food
believe
and otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, there have been times I've gone into the barn and he's had a lead rope halfway down his throat to pull it out. But I think that's probably, he's like me. He's hungry all the time. We have 11 program horses right now.
We call him our class clown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Creates a situation where he knows he'll get some attention. He's fabulous. He really is a great horse to have. And in the barn, so someone asked how many horses we have. We have 9 horses in the program, or 11 horses in the program right now. And we just brought a new one in for training. But we try, not only do we need a variety of horses in terms of their size, and their conformation, their build, but also in personality. Because as Jenn mentioned, that bond is so important, and everyone will bond differently to different, the different personalities of the horses. And so there's definitely a place for that class clown who we love is Nando, because he's a horse that, some people might find really challenging, or they might be able to relate to that. And then we have other horses who are just the most gentle and kind and, soft spirit. And so we have horses that will meet someone for the first time and just immediately kind of meet them where they're at. So they can sense when someone might be feeling a little bit anxious, and you just see their
you have Lucy up right there. Lucy we have a board member who volunteers occasionally, and she and I met doing animal shelter work. So she's a total dog person. And she was in the parking lot one day before she gave a tour and had made the decision to euthanize one of her rescue dogs who wasn't doing so well. Lucy knew when she got there, because she opened the stall to see Lucy, and Lucy immediately put her head on Kristen's shoulders.
Oh, wow.
They're so perceptive.
That's awesome. So, Steph, which horse is your favorite?
See, Jenn said everyone has a favorite. I don't know if I do.
Oh, all right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. Just because I think that what I love about my job is that I get to see every horse interact differently with all of these different students, and they get to be a part of so many people's lives and their journeys, and to see the impact that they have. I just think, they're all so special, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. So there are definitely days, they're kind of like kids. There are days where you're just a little frustrated with one of them or a handful of them. And then there are days where they shine, and you're just like, this is amazing. So
that's awesome.
They really are. I tell everyone they're really just 1,000-pound toddlers. That's what it boils down to. So we have our moments, but they're fabulous. They're a fabulous group of horses to work with.
That's great. Switching gears a little bit. So like the services offered, I know one of the services are lessons. What's involved with those lessons? Like what does somebody learn in a lesson with a horse?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned earlier, all of the students their instructor works with the student and the family or caregivers to develop their own set of goals.
Okay.
And then the lessons are designed for the student to progress towards those goals. So we don't do a cookie cutter program at all. Everything's very customized and unique for the individual. And so lessons are going to look very different from person to person. Some of our students come and they ride for the entire time, and then other students come and they don't ride at all. Sometimes they do work building that relationship on the ground, or learning about how to care for the horse, or any number of different things. And some students kind of do a hybrid. They'll do a little bit of the unmounted and mounted.
Oh, there's a video.
Yeah. So this is one of our students who, or that clip was one of our students who was more physically involved. And so you'll see she was working with an entire team of volunteers, her instructor, someone leading the horse, and someone on either side of her. And we have students who are completely independent, and it's just them and the instructor working one-on-one.
I see. And, seeing these videos, you can get a very clear picture of why you need the 150 plus volunteers and the 10,000 hours that the volunteers put in. There's, three or four volunteers right there.
Yeah. And you can see that we have Reagan and Linda are working together in that picture. We have teenagers who everyone puts the phones down, and it becomes one universal project that we're all working on.
That's awesome. What are horsemanship clinics?
Horsemanship clinics are something that Greystone has traditionally done as just another avenue for our participants to be in the barn and to be involved, and to maybe experience some things that are not necessarily a part of their regular lesson. And so participants would come and again, a way to socialize, to build community. So they would get to participate in activities as a group, and just develop some different horsemanship skills outside of their normal lesson.
Okay. And since it's on the screen there, what is the annual horse show? Is that something you put on at Greystone Manor?
Yeah, it's coming up in a few weeks, September 22nd.
Okay. Good timing.
I think those of us who have children who are able-bodied or family members who are able-bodied sometimes forget that there are limits to activities that some people can participate in because they're not adaptive and inclusive. We're really proud of the fact that our organization is inclusive, and the horse show is an opportunity for these people who have worked hard all year on their horsemanship clinics and their equitation to show their friends and family and people who come in out of town just how far they've progressed in a year.
That's awesome. So is it's something that you host there?
Yeah, it's a public event. So we welcome people to come and visit it. And it's really an excellent opportunity to see just exactly what our program is about.
That's awesome. And what's the date again?
September 24th. It's at our barn at 1063 Hartman Station Road in Lancaster, just off Route 23. And it starts around 9:15
in the morning. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things I wanted to mention. I know where you are, but I don't know that everybody else knows where you are. So, right off 23 on the east side of Lancaster, that way.
Yeah, I was going to say, so every year we pick a different theme for the horse show, and we're very excited. This year our theme is horses and heroes. So we feel really blessed to be able to honor anyone in our lives who is a hero. Especially, we talked earlier about the pandemic. Yeah. We're honoring our medical community, our educators, our first responders, and our families and caregivers, because our students and participants rely heavily on help, not only from their families, but from the community as well. And so it's one of those things where sometimes you don't realize the impact that you're having in someone's life until we have a chance to showcase them at an event like this. And so we're asking our participants and community members to fill out little hero profiles of the people in their lives who are making a positive impact, and to be able to honor them at the horse show that day. And so we're really excited. One of our first hero profiles that came back was from a participant who chose to honor his cat, because that cat provides a lot of emotional support to him throughout the week. So heroes come in every shapes and sizes, and the horses certainly are one of our biggest heroes, but the people in our life and other animals in our lives are really important as well. That's great.
And how long does the show last, the horse show?
I think we're on target to probably wrap up around 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Okay, so it's an all-day sort of thing.
Yep, come, and we've got food and good food, fun things to watch, and just a great time.
We will have some traditional heroes coming. We have Susquehanna service dogs. They're expected to come, and some first responders are going to send some first responder gear. So it is a family activity, and everyone's welcome.
That's great. And it's like a drop-in sort of thing. Like if you can't come until noon, you just come whenever you can come. That's awesome. That's great. Do you have any other events that you do throughout the year? I thought I saw maybe something else coming up.
Yeah, the main event. We do a fundraiser. It used to be called a gala, but now we just call it the main event, because I don't think gala is really representative of how that event goes. It's held at Bent Creek Country Club, usually the last Saturday of October, but we moved it up a week just because we didn't want to coincide with trick-or-treating. And it is it's a fundraiser with dinner and a silent auction and a live auction, but no one comes in. Well, maybe a few people get really dressed up. For the most part, it's a boots and blue jeans themed event. Very lucky. And it's fun. We're really lucky to have Tim Keller from HK Keller helping us to MC this year. He's just got such an incredible personality.
We had Tim on the show 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
He's just, we had to do a virtual event of this same nature a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He just carried it. I mean, he's
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's awesome. So silent auction and a dinner. Do people buy tickets? Is that how it works?
Most people come through sponsorship, but we do have individual tickets available.
Okay.
We need to continue to develop the website. This year it's presented by Garmin Builders, and we'll have that information up soon. But we don't have invitation. We sent some quotes out for invitations, but they'll be going out soon. But if anyone would like to be added to the list, reach out to us from our website.
That's awesome. We'd love to participate. If you're looking for items for the silent auction, we've got, pillows, sheets, mattresses. So we'd love to donate something. So reach out with some information, and we'll definitely help out your silent auction there. Yeah. So a couple other questions to kind of wrap up. Since we're talking about the donation angle, obviously somebody, if they felt led, could donate in other ways. Do you collect donations on your website if somebody felt compelled to donate?
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think we like to have more of a relationship with our donors than a transactional type of experience.
That makes sense. Yep.
People will reach out to us and ask to come see our program in action, and it's really moving. And I would encourage anyone who has interest to come and see it for yourself. But we do have people who you're welcome to donate online. We have a wish list that we're in the process of updating. And then donating time is something we value so highly too. We have one volunteer who year after year donates over 1,000 hours of her time. I mean, some people can give more than others, and some people can give more time than others. We are so grateful for anyone who can be a part of our family.
Yeah, volunteer rock star for sure. What does adopt a horse? Somebody can adopt a horse. Is that correct? What does that look like?
It's a symbolic adoption. Horses have pretty high carrying costs, and the cost of hay and feed is just skyrocketed with inflation. It can be a long-term relationship or short-term. A lot of our people who choose to do it long-term, but a financial commitment given monthly that helps to underwrite the cost of shoeing of the horses, feeding them their supplements. Some of them get chiropractic work, vaccinations, just basic upkeep and care of the horses.
Do you have, now I may not say this correctly, but a veterinary service right there on site?
So they do, we have veterinary service come, two different veterinary services. We have a vet tech who's on our staff, but Steph can speak more to the professionals that we've chosen based on their skill levels.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we don't have an on-site veterinarian, but we work really closely with COPEC Veterinary Associates, and they're Lancaster based as well. And they're just phenomenal. They're an equine specialty vet. And so they take good care of our herd for us, and they're great supporters of the program. And then Jen mentioned we do have Dr. Rachel, who is not from Lancaster, but she specializes in chiropractic and acupuncture and that sort of thing. So she'll come out a few times throughout the year and pamper our herd and just make sure that our horses are comfortable. If they're not comfortable, then they're not going to enjoy doing this job. And it's really important to us that we have happy, healthy horses.
Yeah. So the Adopt a Horse program, some of that funding would pay for veterinary services and whatnot. What is the Legacy Fence program? I saw that on your website as well. What is that?
We have an outdoor arena behind our stable. And
I think we saw that in one of the videos. Yeah.
There are plaques on the fence going all the way around, and it's more of a transactional donation. It's one time, and people have chosen to honor special anniversaries, birthdays. We've had a couple of horses who have moved on to other careers or passed away, and we have people donate in their honor. So it's a flat $100 donation for a permanent plaque on our outdoor arena. And we have space for more. That's
awesome. And somebody who wants to do that could find out more information on your website. Greystone Manor TRC.org. We have people that listen, not just watch, so I'd like to try to spell it out. So my last question, how does someone get started with Greystone Manor? So if somebody listening is interested in having a child or niece or nephew or somebody they know in their life that wanted to utilize the services at Greystone, what do they do to get started?
Yeah, so I would encourage you to either contact us through the website. There's a contact box there that you can put in your information, and we'll reach out to you. Or you can give us a call. The program number is 717-615-9222. And so what we'll do is we'll take down your information, schedule an intake. That intake is an opportunity for the participant and their family or caregiver or whoever to come and tour the facility. We'll talk about the program, talk about their individual needs, and it gives me an opportunity to meet them and see kind of what they would need in terms of scheduling and things like that. And then once there's a spot available, we'll give you a call and get you started.
That's great. Looks like there's more information right there on the contact us page on your website.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. It's really cool. We've had some commenters. In fact, there's my father commented, what a beautiful thing they are doing. So really, really neat. Equine therapy is something that I really wasn't familiar with until doing some more research about this. So it's awesome. I mean, you've been around for 40 years, coordinate with a lot of other local nonprofits and organizations. And it's really powerful to see, the videos. I think you said you have a YouTube page where there's more videos. So if somebody wanted to get a deeper peek into what you do, I think those videos or Jennifer, like you said, just coming by and seeing what goes on there at Greystone Manor. I think it's really, really neat what you both do there.
Yeah, we have phone, since we don't always have people there 24/7 because there are horses there 24/7.
Yeah.
It's a great idea to call ahead of time, but we're also happy to show off what we do because we're so proud of it.
Yep. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Greystone Manor?
I think we covered all of the big points.
We covered a lot.
Something you
Cool.
have to see for yourself.
Yep, that's awesome. And like I said, Jeff and I visited Aaron's Acres a month or so ago. Maybe we can visit Greystone Manor sometime.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's awesome. Cool. Well, we won't cut off just yet. We'll do our connection cocktail. There's our screenshot there. Connection cocktail is a way to get to know you both a little bit better. We talked about your Lancaster history a little bit when we first introduced you as our guest. I'll ask each of you, what is your favorite thing to do in Lancaster? Jennifer, you can go first.
I love that there's things that I experienced as a kid that I'm now experiencing again with my kids.
Okay, that's cool.
I love like Long's Park, doing the fireworks at Long's Park, Loaded Springs Park, Dutch Wonderland. My mother used to go to Dutch Wonderland with her family when she was young, and now we have memberships there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the first time we've had that response on the show. That you're experiencing things as a parent that you experienced as a kid. That's cool. I like that. How about you, Stephanie? What's your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
Well, I just really enjoy being outdoors and doing outdoorsy things, and I think Lancaster has a lot to offer in that sense. So I just kind of enjoy exploring the different hiking areas, and places to ride is always a benefit. So we can get the horses out and do some trail riding in Lancaster. That's always a good time. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Where would be a particular trail? I know there's some, but do you have a favorite hiking or trail to ride on?
None of them in particular are coming to mind.
That's okay.
At the moment. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
That's all right. That's all right. So next question, and this can be completely self-serving for Greystone Manor if you'd like. Is there a favorite annual event that you like to attend?
I mean, I love our annual
There you go.
dinner auction that we do. It's a lot of fun. I was going to say Longs Park fireworks, but
Okay.
yeah,
That's cool too.
it's just not a traditional upscale event. It's so much fun and so much different.
Yeah.
I think people who come have the expectation that it's going to be stuffy the first time they come. Then after that, they're hooked.
Okay. You're the horse show. People
No, I was
have
talking
this.
about the main event, but the horse show's
Oh,
fantastic
I
because
got you.
it's super inclusive.
Yeah.
I think that the theme's going to be really fun this year.
That's cool. That's cool. How about you? Steph? Do you have an annual event that you like to go to that you look forward to?
Well, it's kind of a family tradition. So my family often will go to Sight and Sound Theater and see a show every year. Their productions change from year to year. So that's something that we'll look forward to just as a family doing
That's
that.
great.
Took my niece to the Dutch Wonderland. That's always a good time.
That's cool. Have you seen the current show that's there? I've had people tell me that's phenomenal.
To see that one. It's the David production. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
It's unbelievable. You don't really think about something like that production value or whatever, like happening right here in Lancaster County. And
right.
It's just unbelievable what they do. So that's cool. Last question. And we like to ask this of most of our guests. When you bring friends or family who live out of the area into Lancaster, what part of Lancaster do you like to impart on them? Somewhere you like to take them or something you like to show off about Lancaster County?
Yeah. For me, it's Central Market. It's so iconic.
Okay.
When I was growing up, my dad owned a couple video stores called Video 54. And one of them was on the corner of Prince and King Street. So every weekend we would go to like Hodecker's Celery or, the Stoltzfus Bakery. And so, and then later, after my first job after college, I was working in the Greystone building. So I went there, all the time too. But I like that it's something that's long-term, but it is ever changing too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always new vendors, some old vendors retiring and new vendors coming in. But yeah, Central Market is pretty awesome. How about Steph? Same question.
Well, I think Strasburg is a really cute little town. Like the Lidditz area is really fun too. Like Lidditz is a place that you can go and just kind of hang out, wander around, and find some really awesome little shops and restaurants. I recommend Lidditz to a lot of people. Yeah.
That's awesome. I got together with a group of friends this past Friday in Lidditz, and we hit the record shop and the bookstore. So did a little bit of both. And then we hit Greco's Ice Cream for ice cream and water ice.
Yep.
Little kind of like off the beaten path place, but there was a line out the door, and it was well worth the wait. So so that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. Thank you both for being on Greystone Manor Therapeutic Equine Center. Did I get it right? I might have.
Riding Center.
Therapeutic Riding Center.
Center. Maybe.
I encourage everybody listening and watching to visit the website if you feel led to volunteer or donate time or money, help out with their events. I'm sure they'd love it. Thank you for the work the both of you do. It was great having you on, and thanks for being part of Lancaster Connects.
Thank you so much
for having us.
Yeah. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. All right. So we will wrap up the show. We're almost at the top of the hour here. Awesome guests. We love highlighting local nonprofits and charitable organizations, sharing their stories. I think a lot of people watching the show, their eyes are kind of opened that some of these things actually occur in Lancaster County. Really, really neat services like Aaron's Acres, Greystone Manor, Schreiber Pediatric we had last week. I know there's other communities in the country that also have great organizations, but man, Lancaster just seems to have a wealth of resources for people with special needs or have a need for these services. So really, really cool what Jennifer and Stephanie do there at Greystone Manor. So just a couple things. We've got a Sleep Better tip from our Sleep Better book. Sleep Better book you can get for free. A lot of helpful sleep tips and information beyond just obviously replacing a mattress. There's a lot of things you could do to your bedroom environment and your sleep routine that this book addresses. So free, helpful sleep information. You can request it at gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. So what I wanted to share here is on page 40. Clear your cluttered mind is this little section. Its title, Our minds can collect clutter just like our counters and desks do. And unless you're totally exhausted and just conk out as soon as your head hits the big comfy pillow, you'll usually notice how your brain starts processing through your files for that day, checking notes about the things you said and did, what others said and did, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And your mind may also be going through your tomorrow's to-dos. If you're still all wired up, this can take some substantial time away from your sleep time. It can keep you awake for hours. Show of hands. No, I'm not going to see your hands, but you'll see my hand if that's ever happened. Yeah, that definitely happens. So it's best, tip in the Sleep Better book, best to get that tomorrow to-do list written and done before you start winding down for sleep, so you won't have to think about it again until tomorrow, hopefully. So that is a Sleep Better tip. Basically get your to-do list out of your head on paper, and hopefully those thoughts that keep you up later than you'd like to be, hopefully they're on the paper and you can reference them in the morning as opposed to going through them in your head overnight. So if you'd like great sleep tips and information, go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. Quick testimonial here. You might not be able to see it. I'm going to hold it close there. So this one was unique, totally unique. Sam and Margaret. This is a handwritten testimonial. We ask some questions and leave blank spaces for people to write in. This person typed out their responses, cut them out, and taped them to the piece of paper. So I thought this was super awesome. A total unicorn in our world of testimonials. Their words were great. Salesperson was Drew, who we've talked about Drew before. Drew is the best salesperson they ever encountered. Knowledgeable about beds, related human anatomy related to sleep, patient, thorough, professional, and very pleasant. Dealing with him was a joy. So that's what Sam and Margaret had to say about working with Drew here at Gardner's Mattress and More. And I thought their comment about our installation and delivery crew was great. The installation by Nick and Kelvin was akin to synchronized swimming. So, when you picture a mattress delivery, you're taking a mattress and one person gets this side, one person gets this side, and you have to be synchronized getting it in the house, or else you're going to bump walls and staircases. And, these mattresses are big and heavy, and sometimes getting it in a house might be a challenge. But Sam and Margaret said that it was akin to synchronized swimming. So I thought that was that was a unique, cool response. So if you're listening or watching, and we could help you sleep better like we helped Sam and Margaret, we'd love to provide the same level of service and expertise in the process that Sam and Margaret got from Gardner's Mattress and More. Again, if you'd like to be a guest on Lancaster Connects, our show, it's every Monday at 2 o'clock. Next week's guest is the Pet Pantry. They were going to be a couple weeks ago, but we didn't do a show because I was ill and Jeff was out of town. But we got Pet Pantry next week, next Monday at 2 o'clock. And after that, we take a break for Labor Day and come back the weekend after, or the Monday after Labor Day. And if you'd like to be a guest, lancasterconnects.com/guest. Let us know who you are, the organization you represent, and why you'd like to be on the show. And we'd like to book you as a guest this fall. I think that's it. We're gonna spin the prizelator. We've got a handful of commenters, so we'll get the prizelator tuned up there. There it goes. There it goes. All right, Takesha is our winner. Takesha, you can come in to Gardner's Mattress and More. Thanks for commenting, of course. You can win one of these cool little swag gifts with the Less Nor More Cuddle product logo on it. Or you can come in and get a $25 restaurant gift card to a great restaurant in Lancaster County. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, as always. And I think that's a wrap. Lancaster Connects right here from Gardener's Mattress some more. We'll see you next Monday at 2 o'clock. Have a great day.